Yeah, you heard about the Soda Pop Minis thingamajigger, right? Holiday
Yeah, I
sale.
have. Yeah, I can't believe the timing. I actually placed an order for a couple of Pro mats, like not even 2 hours before they announced the sale.
Oh, oh my.
Yeah, but that's okay. That was my Ninja points anyway, so it's not that big a deal.
Nice,
Um,
nice.
anyway, we're live now. Welcome to Play It Painted Live, guys. I know this is not Wednesday night, um, and this is not scheduled. This was not a scheduled broadcast, but Andrew is back in town
Yes, I
from
am.
being away at school, and we will not be doing a show on Wednesday. So I figured, hey, well, let's just record tonight, since sure, why not? So that's what the plan is for tonight. We're probably going to be talking heavy, heavy Relic Knights. So I wanted to welcome Andrew to the show. What's up, Andrew?
You know, it is all good. How are you, Octave?
Doing good, man. So I showed you what my desk, the top of my desk, looked like just minutes before
Yeah.
we turned on the camera. So anyway, I just yeah, I'll share that later because that's kind of cool. I'll put it on the Play It Painted room. I mean on the Facebook page. So anyway, yeah, we're just getting set up, so we're gonna we're just gonna keep rolling with it. How's school been?
You know, so far so good. Might have failed my last OChem test, but that's okay.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not 100% sure I'm gonna get the scores back after Thanksgiving, but last time I thought I failed my OChem test, I actually got an A minus. So
Nice, nice, nice. So that's where you've been this whole time, right?
that is
Basically school.
true. School is life.
Yeah, and that's we haven't seen you for a few Tuesdays in a row now.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah.
been a bummer. I've wanted to, but I mean, man, school just keeps catching up with me.
Mhm. Mhm. So, but yeah, you were off on break. We were trying to line up a game for tonight, but that just didn't work out, unfortunately. Um,
Yay.
but that's okay. We're painting up and getting ready for tomorrow night. So tomorrow night we're going to be looking obviously to get into some Tactical Tuesday. How long has it been since you played a game of Relic Knights?
You know, last time I played Relic Knights was at the tournament, the charity tournament that we ran a while back.
Okay,
How
so about
far
a
was
month.
that? Yes, and I think I got
Mhm.
the screen share up.
Yep.
Very
You can see
nice.
the Aussie card there.
Man, I want everything. But I just was looking through my box and I was like, you know, I've got so many things that I built, but I haven't played yet.
hmm
Like this is the guy. I want this guy so
Okay.
badly.
Casaro Toe. So you haven't picked up a Casaro Toe yet, but you do have a no starter from that October 25th event, right?
Yes, and I also bought that same night the other warlord that isn't a what's it called?
A
Isn't
night.
a knight. Yeah,
hmm
Marimoto or something like that.
Yeah, Mamoru Toe. hmm
Mamaruto, there you go.
Cool. So I'm gonna one thing I'm gonna do here, since this is kind of a slow start, folks. So if you are watching this on record, you might want to fast forward a few minutes while we finish setting up. I'm gonna go ahead and share the link to our impromptu feed here. Um, I will just
Man,
share
I can't find the Marimako card. Man, I can't pronounce his name. Oh my goodness.
it. Mamaroto.
Yes, I can't find his card.
Uh-oh. Well, hold on a minute. I'm just gonna go ahead and um, post this on. Let's post it on the Relic Knights Facebook group. Where's the Relic Knights Facebook group? I have too many Facebook groups. I don't know how many Facebook groups you're in.
Oh boy.
I have way too many. I think everybody has too many.
Yeah, because sometimes they join a group like from 2012, and now it's 2014, and nothing's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a couple of those. Oh boy.
Are there any groups like that you you don't even quite recall why you joined that group? You're just sort of there, and then it shows up, pops up once in a while in your feed, and you're like, "Whoa, I'm in that group! I didn't even realize it."
Oh, well, maybe like one, but I probably forgot about it. It's just one of those things.
I was like big into I kind of got into steampunk for a little while, and well, I still like steampunk, but I was like joining these steampunk groups, and I forgot like how many I had been in, and it was coming back like, oh yeah, this shows up on your feed, and check this out, and I was like, well, what is this? What is this group? And then I go back and I'm like, oh, that's a steampunk group. Oops. So,
Oh gosh.
yeah, so there's that. I'm trying to I also need to decide what I want to paint tonight. So here are some options for you. I could either paint like one of these Relic Knights Super Dungeon Explorer minis, or I could finish painting, and I'm leaning probably this way. Probably finish painting a couple more Arena Rex miniatures, because those are super fun. So kind of leaning this way.
Arena Rex, because I was looking at those minis, and they're fantastic.
Yeah, they're super fun. I've been having. I'll show you. The last week's show, I painted Mycon here, and he's just so funny to me that I have to put him in. I don't know. My Instagram feed might just become me placing Mycon in a bunch of different funny spots.
Well, that picture you sent me was I was literally dying. I was on the floor.
Because look at him, Mycon is awesome. He looks like Lord Humongous. He just woke up. Have you seen the Road Warrior?
Oh my goodness! I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's a much older Mel Gibson movie, but the leader of the biker gang, Lord Humongous, he wears a hockey mask, and he's like ripped like this guy is, and I don't know, he just reminds me of Lord Humongous, and the speech that he gives on the outside of the town is just amazing.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I love this dude. I gotta put him in a bunch of different photos because it's funny to me. However, I feel guilty because I posted the link in the Relic Knights site, so I feel like, and frankly I'm out of Relic Knights to paint. So the next closest thing would be to paint like, one of these minis. That said, I would have to break out the airbrush because I like to airbrush the like stuff like the detail on the blade and everything like that. So I think I'm just gonna go with what I want to paint, and we're gonna paint up a couple of Arena Rex minis. So, and with that said, you folks in the Relic Knights Facebook group, we will be talking pretty much Relic Knights here. So let me go ahead and get set up a little bit here for my painting. I have a couple of announcements, just sort of news to catch us up with. First up, I want to announce for Corey his tournament that is happening this Sunday. So it's been a crazy past few weeks here for Relic Knights here in SoCal. And we've had some back-to-back tournaments, and it's just been super fun. And this weekend, we have a really kind of unique tournament situation. We've got Corey, who is our ninja down there in San Diego, one of the ninjas in San Diego, I should say, and he is running a 50 points Endless Hunger tournament down at the Arcana Brewery Company. Now, this is a brewery in San Diego, Carlsbad, that is very gamer friendly. So it's Arcana Brewery. So I assume people go in, they might play some board games, they might play Magic, um, and that seems to be like a growing thing. I recall Card Kingdom in Seattle being next to a pub, and just kind of that really kind of cool vibe where you can come in, have a beer, and enjoy a game, because that's something very normal to a lot of us gamers, is to just crack open a beer while we're playing some of these games. And so it's a good fit. Anyway, Corey kind of saw it, thought it was a cool idea. Well, let me back up a sec. We were, during the October 25th event, the Extra Life event, afterwards we decided to all go out and get burgers.
Oh boy.
So we were all there, when Andrew was there.
I was.
We were at Slater's 50/50, and we're having burgers and beer, and Corey's like, hey, there's a brewery down in Carlsbad that I'm interested in seeing if we can get down there for some gaming. And everybody there was like, hey, that's a great idea, Corey. And we were like, hey, let's go ahead and pursue it. And he picked up the ball and he ran with it, and talked to the owners of the brewery. They're receptive to having us there. They're giving us a free taster with our $10 entrance fee, and Corey and Ninja are supplying the prize support for this, which is fantastic. And so that's what's going on. We've got a tournament this weekend. I'm gonna assist with some terrain, and I might kind of like play ringer for him if it ends up being uneven, or if they need people to show passerbys how to play the game. Now, this is a big opportunity, in my opinion. Whenever you play in a public situation that's not just a hobby store, you have that potential for crossover. And I mean, what better crossover can you think of than, say, gamers that went to a brewery that might be there playing another game, but then they see this miniature game and they see this fun community of folks. Hopefully fun, right? We're fun.
I hope we are.
Yeah, hopefully this fun community of folks that are playing this this anime-based skirmish game, and it would be good to have one of us on hand to just kind of receive walk-ins and tell them a little bit about the game, maybe even run a game demo or two. So that's what's going on this weekend. Super excited about it. And I was talking to Andrew about it. Unfortunately, Andrew, you're going back to school, back to campus on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to go to all of the tournaments, but then OChem was like, you should get an A in this class.
But then life, right?
Yeah, it's like, well, your future kind of depends on these next 2 tests. I was like, thanks, OChem.
Hey, it's cool. It happens. But, yeah, so unfortunately, you can't go, but I'm hoping maybe you can help me, because, yes, I will probably play ringer, but there is still that option of me coming to compete in the tournament. So I'm starting to think of, maybe different builds that I might run. This is Endless Hunger format, so I can build 2 lists and then flip scenario and then decide what I want to play.
Oh boy. So Endless Hunger is the questing night only 35 point, right?
No. Questing night only 35 point was something that we decided to try using the Endless Hunger format, which is actually, Endless Hunger is a 50-point format.
Oh.
But we wanted to play 35 because that was kind of the atmosphere there at the Monstore. And
I got you.
that's what we had played the weekend before. So it was like, well, 35, we played it, and at 35 points, the Relic KNights, in all honesty, were just a little too overpowering. We do understand that the game really isn't built for 35, but that's the minimum sized game that the book recommends. But we wanted to try it and just kind of set it up for potential for like a newbie format. If we did 35, no relics allowed. Hopefully that would give you a nice enclosed system to play starters, and maybe be a little bit more newbie friendly while still providing a challenge for veteran players. So anyway, that's what we did. We ran 35 no relic. That was a super super fun tournament. That was we had a really casual crowd for the most part. Some of the games got a little intense, but fun intense. There was a lot of cheering for the other player. There was the games got really tight, and I don't know. I just think that I will just say that I'm super super happy with how our budding little community is shaping out to be at this point, because just lots of really fun people, and everybody pretty much is looking out for the other players and making sure that everybody there is having fun. And I think that's a really important thing to have, especially when you have a new and budding community like we do here with Relic KNights.
Yeah, exactly. I agree completely.
It's we're going into, and this is going to be the first time that we bump up to 50 points with Endless Hunger, and we're expecting a bit of a bigger turnout than we had last weekend, because obviously it's a brewery. We've had a little bit more time to prepare for this event, and I think we're going to garner a little bit more interest for this event. So this is going to be a good test for us and our budding community here, to see how we respond to the new organized play rules at 50 points. And then also, this is probably going to be one of the, as we continue to do tournaments and organized play, the level of skill is going to increase naturally, and with it, the intensity of competition will probably increase as well. That's not a bad thing, especially with when you've got a group that's fairly tight knit. I consider our local meta for Relic KNights at this point to be fairly tight knit. Everybody sort of knows everybody, at least from the October event, and we've got some new people trickling in, which is awesome. And we're just kind of maintaining that atmosphere of friendly, and just being mindful of the other players, their level of enjoyment, and but still rising to the occasion and playing some really good games here.
Yeah, I agree. I think Relic Knights as a game itself doesn't really mean to be taken seriously. I mean, if you see some of the random things in this game and just the anime references, like it almost has this cartoony feel, not just through the artwork alone and the models, but the way things work. For example, pushing into walls and taking damage. That's straight out of an anime. Straight out of an anime.
So you think that those design choices are ridiculous, and they're ridiculous on purpose?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, Shattered Sword, I think, is one of the factions that wants to be taken seriously. But let's look at Ostrakin, the ogre, for example, right?
Okay.
Everything about him, his artwork, his look, his feel, just feels right in an anime sense. That is. So he isn't necessarily from. He wasn't originally from Shattered Sword, if I recall, from the lore, correct?
I don't think so. No. Yeah.
I need to read it officially, but that's why
he was not from right.
That's why he's using purple and red. It's to represent the fact that he wasn't born into this holy law unity. He's actually using chaos, or not chaos. Chaos is yellow. He's using entropy and corruption.
Right.
So that's interesting to me, and not only that, but straight out of an anime, Divine Crater, his first melee attack, it has Blast 3, which means everything within 3 inches of him, correct? 3 inches of the target.
Yep.
Is pushed 3 inches.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how awesome is that? Can you imagine that straight in anime? This guy running up, or well, not really running because he's huge, and you can tell by his speed. He's only speed 5. This guy stomping towards someone and just boom hits them, and it leaves a shockwave that affects everything within that original target. That is straight from an anime.
That's very, very anime for sure.
Exactly. And I mean, it just feels like right to me. So
Okay.
for some of the armies, for example, Corsairs, they're very competitive, but they're very silly. Like,
Mm-hmm.
for example, erratic defense. Like, oh, it gives you so much armor, but that risk, that pirate-y gamble, is
Yep.
just, it feels so, like, it feels so real to me how, like, it's an anime, um,
Mm-hmm.
and this is an anime world that we're trying to build. So that's why I really appreciate what Relic Knights is doing.
Yeah, it definitely it definitely translates into the gameplay. You know, the theme that they're going for, and just like you said, the Corsairs are interesting because they have so many different races represented in their faction and different disciplines, and that reflects in their abilities and esprits as well. Just like you were saying, Ostrakin uses purple and red because he's not necessarily from Law, he's not native to the Shattered Sword faction. And then you'll see stuff like Squall over on the Corsair side, who uses a lot of essence, uses a lot of yellow, more like a Doctrine character, because that's her particular leanings. Kanobo being more also, I believe he's a little bit more entropy as well, because he is a no by race. So um, so it does translate into the rules as well, and I don't know, it's just something to appreciate as part of their design.
Yeah, exactly. And I've got the Corsair cards pulled up. I'm trying to get down to Squall. Um, but internet's not working for some reason. But yeah, I've got
Uh-oh.
Kanobo up right now and Moffat. It's just every time I open up this PDF, it's a bit slow. All right,
I hear you.
yeah. Here's Squall. Yeah, she uses so much yellow. It's unbelievable. Like
Yeah.
that's how you can tell she was from Doctrine.
Mm-hmm.
It's honestly, I really like the feel of all these abilities too. For example, Tempest, Lightning Strike, Wind Shear, Nebula. Like
Mm-hmm.
it just feels so anime. That's why I really like this game.
Okay. Uh, all right. So we're welcome. If you guys are just tuning in, welcome to Play It Painted Live. Let us know what you're painting or what you should be painting. I'm gonna load some comments now because why not? Find out who's with us tonight. Want to appreciate, just say thanks for you guys for tuning in. Got some comments from Cameron. He says, "What's up? Cool show so far. I got some listening. I got something to listen to while I play Smash Brothers." Hey, what's up, Cameron? Hey, yeah, man. I know you were trying to make it out this past weekend. Sorry you couldn't make it out. It was a good time, man. It's cool, but for sure we're gonna be out there again soon. Because let me just tell you something. The last time I went to Monstore, I was kind of saddened by it because we got there and it just the scene there seems to have died down a bit. And I was talking with some of the staff there, and they're like, yeah, some of these games that you guys played when you were regularly coming here have all but died, and that's including Relic Knights, and that made me kind of sad because Cameron, that I know Cameron's a big fan of that shop. I'm a big fan of that shop, and so it kind of made me. It kind of motivated me to come back the following week, which is what we did, and just do them a solid. Just show them, hey, we do have a small budding community for Relic Knights, and it's a super fun community. And if the people that are regularly going to Monstore can see that, hey, this game's being played, that hopefully maybe that they'll a couple of guys there will pick up the game and start playing it there, because it would be unrealistic to expect us down in Orange County or San Diego or LA to regularly be there. However, the guys regularly in the shop, a lot of those guys are looking for stuff to play, and if we say, hey, there's a Relic Knights community, and you guys would play regularly at Monstore, but maybe you can make it out to some of our events out here, or we would throw a few more down at the Monstore. It would be a good idea. So yeah, it's I'm kind of motivated to get to Monstore a little bit more frequently now. The fact that a lot of their game systems right now are 40% off. Basically anything that isn't GW or Privateer at the moment is like 40% off. I don't think Relic Knights is, though, because I think we ruined our chances there by bringing people back and showing them, hey, people are interested in the game. But that's okay. I'm okay with that. But yeah, Monstore is a great store. They've always been super supportive of myself and our local community, and we just want to show them, hey, we still care and we want to support them as well. So
Nice. Yeah, I wish I could have made it out, man.
oh, it's cool, man. It was kind of thrown together somewhat impromptu. Originally we were just planning to meet up a few friends there and get in a couple of games, but there seemed to be enough people around that wanted to do something that we ended up throwing a little impromptu there, and it was a good time, man. It was good. I really enjoyed the format, 35 with no relics, and the thing I like about no relics is that there's no, your questing knights are still quite powerful, but a relic running around with very few large number cadres to challenge them can be a very kind of dangerous thing.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, it takes so much investment to even try and wound a Relic Knight, let alone kill it. So at 35 points, they're basically unbeatable. Well, I mean unkillable, not unbeatable. So
no, I agree. They are basically unkillable at 35. I mean, unless you build specifically to try to kill a knight, in which case you're gonna lose the game doing that, because you're gonna spend so much of your precious model count and activation just trying to deal with a knight that definitely the other guy will just figure out how he can outscore you.
yeah, it's one of those things where it's like you just don't have enough bullets, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the Endless Hunger format, I haven't actually looked into that. How does that work?
Now we did myself and Mark Dieter and Jill, we did a show on Endless Hunger, I think 2 shows ago, which was kind of cool, where we break down the document. But the basics of Endless Hunger is this. It's a 50-point format. It's 2 lists. The scenarios are flipped individually per table, and you play to 6. So you play to 6 points. So it's very short games. And we have some misgivings about a couple of things on there. The individual table flips, I still prefer, how we did it on the 25th. I still prefer to have, the TO flip the scenario for all the tables, because I just think that's more fair for everybody. But so there's some stuff like that in there that we're still not 100% sure on. 6-point games. We had a concern about Cersei possibly dominating at 6 points, because that's basically just saying the only thing Cersei has to do is achieve a primary.
Yeah, that's.
And so we have some concerns there, but from the 2 that we've run since the organized play document has come out, has not shown us that Cersei has any a large scale advantage. I mean, if you know what you're doing and you can finish a primary at 35 points with Cersei, okay, that can be dangerous. But 50 points, we'll see. We'll see, because there are a lot of 6 points is almost there are a lot of different ways that other factions can get to 6 points very quickly as well. So we'll see. You know, it could. What if you're a Black Diamond and you have tear it down? Well, you know, all you have to do is blow up a primary and you're basically done. And Black Diamond will do that very well and very quickly. So we'll see how it shakes out. I think, to my mind right now, locally, some of the stronger players are gravitating to Black Diamond. But that said, I mean, our tournament spread has been interesting. So you won the 25th with the Radiant.
Yep, I won with the Relic KNights. What's it? Soda candy.
Candy. Yep.
Yeah.
And the last ones, the small points tournaments, Corey has won with Corsairs, which is interesting because no one really, right at this point, no one really kind of points to Corsairs as being a power faction. I feel that their knights and their uniques are quite strong, though. So they're not to be underestimated. What was that?
The me Hardies, man. Like you can't go wrong with like a two tap. Oh god, magic. A 2 yellow or orange. What's it called? Lead tooth? Let me look this up. I'm breaking out the rule book just so I can get everything right.
You know, at a full unit, you're doing what, 10 damage or something?
So you've got this unit called me Hardies. I mean Corsairs, and it costs 9 points for. Let me teach these people the Corsair supremacy real fast. So it's 9 points for a full unit. You're getting 4 guys and 1 girl because we're a balanced race here. And let's see. So yeah, lead tooth, 2 orange for damage 3, and you're looking at this and you're like, oh, that's so low. But then you remember they have coordinated attack, so it's actually damage 7 for 2 orange, and you can press it to damage 6, meaning you're doing 10 damage for 2 orange and 3 red. What the heck?
And not just the Corsairs too. I mean, you've got a lot of. I think Scully is one of the better ciphers in the game.
Oh yeah, he's like one of the only ones out right now that we know of that can directly damage anything.
Yep, him and Static, I believe, can both do that. So it's just those 2 ciphers at the moment. But yeah, very strong. And Calico Kate, I think Calico Kate is pretty strong. Not just her cipher, but I think her stats are pretty well rounded, and she's a pretty strong knight. What do you think of Harker? I don't run into him very often. I know you play him. What are your thoughts there?
Let me pull him up because I haven't played him in a while, so I'm just gonna make sure I get all my stats and stuff right. His cipher is it's pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. The one thing that I really like about his cipher is that first off, he's got fly, which means you can put him anywhere you want, basically. Second thing he's got is Cracker, which move target AoE token that is in LOS up to 6 inches, which means that you can basically, if there's say an enemy buff, right, and you don't want to get rid of it, you actually want to sort of bait your opponent into a bad position so they get use of that buff, right? You move their token into an open spot and they're like, oh wait, we have to get the buff now, and then you can have your Corsairs just blow them up because they're out in the open. I like how he can manipulate that. But besides that, Heckling Mimic, his cipher, like attacking a cipher move, is pretty bad. You're spending 3 red 1 orange for an overrun 3. The enemy loses a held Esper, Caesar gains a held Esper. It's okay, but it's kind of bad. It's pretty bad.
Well, it's just I don't know how economical it is. You do get a held out of it, and you get a basic you get an overrun, so you push the target away and then you move up to that target. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how economical that particular move is compared to just standard transfer Esper, channel Esper with a cipher.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, technically, you could just Esper Thief.
Yep,
So
that's true.
instead of doing basically, you're paying 3 red and 1 orange for the 3-inch overrun, which I don't think is worth it when you could just Esper Thief.
Mm-hmm.
But Cracker, now that I'm looking at it, is pretty good. However, you could just spend a held Esper and get rid of the token altogether. So yeah.
That's true. And any cipher can do that move, or any Esper Esper initiate can do that, right?
Yeah, I think. Oh no. Esper initiates can only transfer. Esper masters and a master in like any of the main divisions, like law or entropy, can do it.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know. I want to say he's good, but the only thing that's making him really like kind of shine in my eyes is the fly, because I think he's only one of the few ciphers that can do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fly on a cipher is always quite nice.
But yeah,
it would be nice if,
go for it.
It would be nice if what's her name, Jean Remay's cipher could fly, but that chick is powerful enough as it is, man.
Yeah, and her cipher is pretty good too. The roar for the push 8.
Yeah. I actually used him against Scully when I was playing somebody who was playing Calico Kate. Just to keep Scully away from dropping bombs on everything.
Yeah, honestly, that's why I really wanted Calico Kate. Was because of Scully. He's just something that can't be targeted and or killed, yet is such a huge threat on the board.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like damage, just the fact that it's just damage 5 AOE. And it's so cheap too. It's like I think it's like 3 orange or something, and he's gaining a held when he activates anyway. So it's basically 1 orange to do that, and he can just keep doing it every activation.
Yeah, exactly, and it's a AOE debuff, right? So they have to walk into it for it to explode. That just causes all sorts of like crazy. Oh, I don't want to go into this area, so I won't.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of just like blocking lanes that people would have normally walked into. There's a lot of board control. That's the technical term.
I think who's really good at handling that? I think Marie Claude or her cipher has the thing that will prevent you from dropping AOEs.
I
could be completely imagining this, but that's what I recall.
Oh, Esme actually has the ability use it or lose it, which is models ending their activation in the area lose all held Esper.
Oh, okay, so it's not them.
Yeah,
that's pretty good anyway.
No, that's actually really, really good now that I'm looking at it.
That's pretty frightening.
Pop that on like an objective, and if anyone wants to interact with it, oh look, I have no Esper.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, back to Captain Harker. I'm looking at his stat card right now on my computer. The thing that I really liked a lot about him is his command shot. A lot of the things in the game require redirecting. Now they can't, because not only is it overcharged, but targets may not redirect, period. So yeah.
That's pretty strong.
And it's damage 7 base, but you have to pay so much for it. 3 orange, 3 yellow, 2 red.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, that's justified for an overcharge ranged attack with the ability to remove a redirect. That's pretty nice. One thing the Relic Knights, when they have attacks that powerful, they actually this is true of Relic Knights and Questing Knights, that it's just going to be expensive for those types of attacks. So a lot of people just play for those. The Suicide Queen loaded deck, that's another one that's very strong. I believe that's also an overcharge ranged attack that can be quite expensive.
Yeah, and I'm looking at Calico Kate right now. The big difference between her overcharge and Harker's overcharge is that she has to be in melee, and the only bonus she gets for that is not having to pay any yellow, but the red increases by 1. So she's still paying 3/3. Damage is
Mm-hmm.
still 7, and she still has an ability that allows them not to use a defensive move. But the big difference is that she has to be in melee, and that's why it costs less.
I see. Okay. Yeah, in general, I think the melee attacks they try to make them so that either they're doing more damage um, or they cost less. So.
Yeah, one thing I really like about Calico Kate, and I don't know if people who are using her use this a lot, but her Cadre ability for the 2/1 breach charge, damage 4, push 4, that allows Corsairs for 2 orange, 1 yellow to do damage 8, push 4.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's a
essentially,
that's a good way to one shot a unit with your own squad.
exactly, because push them into anything, and now your damage just went up from 8 to 11. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that right there is quite brilliant for only 2/1.
I gotta agree with you, but I
Yeah.
haven't played. I want to play Calico Cape because I want an excuse to buy and paint the model. So, and I do have like just some random Corsairs. I have a unit of Corsairs, a breach cannon, and then I've got a bunch of their uniques. So I'm just ready to go. But I'll pick her up at some point.
Yeah,
So
oh, go for it, go for it.
Andrew, I'm sorry. I was no. Let's finish this before we. I was about to switch gears here just so slightly.
Oh, I was actually thinking of picking up Calico Kate or trying to find Wild Space Gabe because I really like Harker. I really do, but I
Hmm.
want another Mihardi. Just so you gotta catch them all because I'm playing Pokemon
You gotta have
Ruby.
two me hardy.
Yeah, I'm playing the new Pokemon Ruby, so the catching everything is a huge theme in my life right now. Oh, I just noticed one more thing before we switch gears is breaching charge? Guess who
Yeah.
else can use that? Scully.
Um.
Scully, your
Oh,
Cypher can now do damage 4, push 4 on top of the bombs.
yeah. I guess you're right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because your cipher would get your cadre ability, and they're not exempt from it. So yeah. Wow. Okay. And not
So,
just
yeah.
Scully, but I mean, well, yeah. That's interesting. Okay.
And Scully gets a free Esper, so he only needs a yellow to do it. So,
Hmm.
okay.
So, yeah, I'm okay. Well, I think you've made a pretty strong case here as far as how the Mihardis are so powerful or how they're doing well here when a lot of people were kind of looking at them and saying, well, I don't know, nothing's really jumping out at me regarding this faction. Um, so to switch gears just a little bit, uh, you were telling me, I don't know if it was today or maybe prior to today, or that you're definitely looking at no, and you talked a little bit about what you're going to build or add, right? So you're going to pick up Mamaroto.
Yeah, I'm looking to pick up. Well, see, I have basically most of the factions. I have I'm pretty well set Doctrine. I don't really need anything else there. Cersei, I have the Relic. I just haven't
Hmm.
played Malia yet.
Yeah.
I also have the DS model for them, the Dark Space model. So I have a
Okay.
full functional 50-point army for both Doctrine and Cersei. Shattered Sword, I have nothing but Dark Space Fiametta. Um,
Okay.
Black Diamond, I have nothing. No, I have the starter set, Mamaruto, and that's it. And then Corsairs, I have a decent start, but I want to expand on either my Corsairs or my No.
I see. Okay. Well, they just got the Hounds of Nozuki just came out,
Oh boy,
so that's a pretty solid reason to look at the No a little bit more seriously now.
my wallet's
Um,
crying, man. I don't.
I know. I hear
I
you.
gotta buy the Beastmaster and the Hounds, but it doesn't stop. Okay, has this hit the internet yet? Because I'm about to blow people's minds.
No, go for it. It was announced. I saw it on the Facebook feed, but you go ahead.
Okay. We all know that Linked is a extremely powerful ability in Relic Knights.
Hmm.
So if you get the Sniper Girl, which is Marcanto, right? That's
Yep.
13 points for your Relic Knight. Or your not Relic Knight, your Questing Knight.
Your question, mate. Hmm.
You then buy 3 Beastmasters, and then 2 full squads of the Hounds of Nozoki. And now
Okay.
you have everything has stealth, and since you have a ready queue of 3, you can put your Beastmasters in 3 times, allowing you to get linked 3 times.
Yep.
So and since it just says linked beasts, it's any of your 2 hound squad. So
Yeah.
no
So
is
you're.
gonna be something.
Yeah. A lot of people have been talking about that locally since the beasts are out. Um, I don't know if anybody this weekend coming up is going to be able to field anything like that, but we'll see. Um, I think the only right now the most regular no player is Corey's wife, and I don't think she has her hounds ready yet. So
Yeah, actually I really enjoyed her paint scheme. Did she
yeah,
paint that herself?
she did. She did, and it's yeah. I thought that her scheme was really cool. She won a couple of paint contests because of it.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at them, I was like, oh my gosh, this is really cool.
Hmm. And she did a
And
great job on that.
yeah, did she paint up her Kasarato, right? Her relic?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like,
No, not the Kasaroto. She didn't paint
oh,
the. She painted Zeneda, the starter box, and Mamaroto. Well, I don't know. I could be
um,
wrong. I don't know if she did finish painting her Kasaroto or not.
well,
But
as far as
but
no
yeah,
go. Oh, go for it, go for it.
I was just gonna say um yeah, it will be interesting. So you're moving over to no. So I'm really curious to hear. What are some of your devious plans moving into that faction?
Well, I do want the relic. I want to get all the knights, actually. I already own Zeneda, but Marcanto is just she is very unique in the fact that her bird, her I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm terrible with names, but Lakami or something like that.
Lock me.
Lakmi.
Yeah.
There you go. Gives her line of sight to
Yep.
anything he sees. So she can be out in the boonies and just shooting arrows all across the map.
Mhm.
And the thing is, her arrows cost next to nothing. Her Heartseeker, which ignores protection and stealth, is only 3 red, damage 4, and can be boosted to damage 6. And and the target may not redirect if she boosts it again. So she's
Wow.
definitely going to be a sort of like, well, an archer, which is exactly what she is. And then Aerostorm is something completely unique that I've seen in Relic Knights, where it's overcharge, damage 6. It's pretty pricey. It's 5 red, 1 orange. If the attack hits, all units, friendly and enemy, within 3 inches of the target suffer 3 damage.
That's kind of cool. A giant, just
Oh,
a
it gets better because you can press it for 3 orange, making it a 6-inch AoE.
wow.
Exactly. Imagine that as the most unit shredding ability, possibly in the entire game, because you have a 6-inch. First off, you're dealing 6 damage, and then it says units, not models. So yeah, never mind. Never mind. It still does 9 damage, but you know.
You can still catch multiple units that way, though, and do good damage to them. And then the other thing that's nice about that is we have to bear in mind all of these attacks can be made from the complete safety of blocking terrain because of Lock Me.
Exactly, and not only that, but one of her abilities that really strikes out to me is Fang Trap, which AoE debuff. When a unit enters the area, it suffers 5 damage and immediately stops.
Wow.
Exactly, and it's pretty cheap. It's 3 red, 1 orange, 1 purple, and if she sees Lock Me, that means that she has a Held Esper. So it's
Mm-hmm.
really cheap to cast, and it doesn't say the AoE disappears.
No, because yeah, that's how AOE's work in Relic Knights. They just stay until either somebody comes up and removes them, or or occasionally they'll have a duration on them. Uh, so
Yeah, so that's an extremely powerful knight that we can actually access, because a lot of the really powerful ones aren't out yet, such as Wild Space Gabe and Codifier Blake, I think, right? Or Blair?
Brahe.
Bray. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, actually, one of the guys at the tournament this past weekend fielded him, and he seems pretty good. He seems like fairly viable character. I didn't get to play against him, but he seemed pretty solid.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I've actually never seen one fielded either. So,
Yeah, he painted him. This is one of the local guys, Daniel. He painted his Brahi, and I was like, oh, I've never seen a painted one, so that was kind of cool.
that's awesome. That's awesome.
He had a pretty cool. His 35 build was basically, obviously Brahi and the Cipher, and then he had Tugin and Cecilia and Fiametta, and I thought he had one more unit in there. I just can't recall it right now, but it'll come to me.
Was it the perfects or prefects?
No, it was an individual. I'm just trying to, or maybe
Oh,
that
was
was
it?
no, that is 35 points. Because Tugin is what? Tugin is I think 10, and Fiametta is 10, and Brahi is like I think 14 or 15. So that's 35 right there.
Oh, great, great. Interesting build.
So anyway, thanks for tuning in to Play It Painted Live. I'm gonna pull up some comments here. Let us know what you're painting or what you should be painting. If you play Relic Knights, chime in. Let us know what your faction is, and maybe me and Andrew can give you a little bit of thought as to how we regard that faction. So no comments just yet. Anyway, so you are going to be looking at no, obviously. Any other immediate plans to pick up another faction or anything like that?
You know, I was thinking of picking up Jean or Jean Jen. How do you pronounce the?
I just say I just say Jean, even though it's probably more like Jean.
Yeah, because of Joan of Arc, but
Mm-hmm.
Joan and the Dragon Slayer, Navarre?
Bari. Yeah.
Navari, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my names, I need to fix that. But yeah, I
Well,
think for the price of the box, which is less than $30, you are basically starting or finishing um, Shattered Sword because she's 14, Navarre's 14. You're already
mm-hmm.
looking at 28. I have
Yep.
DS Fiametta making it like
That's
38.
38.
And then I
Mm-hmm.
have Cordelia Clean, which I think is 13 points, so I don't think I can
Yeah.
feel. Yeah, but instead of Fiametta, I can go for the Cordelia or Candy Heart, which I don't own, but might soon own. Yeah,
Or
so
you
I
could put
mean,
Ostrakin in for 12.
I could put
It's the
what?
other option.
Oh yeah,
Ostrakin.
Ostrichen. But just the fact that you can start basically a whole new army for under 30
Mm-hmm.
bucks is absolutely fantastic. I have kind of I was tempted by Black Diamond. I'll tell you that I was. Just the
Okay.
fact that Leopold Magnus is very unique. I really like how he's very tricky. He's very you thought that was yours, but it's not.
Right.
Yeah, and static with that AoE debuff damage 4. It's completely great.
Yep.
Um, Man, and he's
Um,
got Corruption Master.
yeah. So regarding Magnus, Jose ended up playing Magnus this past weekend, and when he plays Black Diamond, but for the most part, he's pretty much only playing one shot. And so this weekend we had obviously the restriction not to take that you couldn't take relics, but he was basically stuck with Magnus. And after the tournament, he was saying, "Hey, I really got to play Magnus more. I didn't really think much of him until I started playing him today." And I would love to hear Jose's reason behind that. So I'm not going to presume to know why he made that statement, but I thought it was kind of cool that he was able to discover that the questing knight is also quite good for Black Diamond.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at him, and there's something that's very scary on him. Esper Overload, or Overload, not Lord.
Overlord. Yep.
Um, it's overcharge, damage 6, but here's the kicker. Increase damage by 2 for each held Esper on the target. And
Mm-hmm.
you can press it for Pierce 2. Now, if we look at some of the very Esper campy champions, for example, Princess Malia, she has to pay so much to try and stop that because she's going to be sitting on a lot of held Esper so she can go
Typically.
fast. Yeah.
Right. Right.
So if she doesn't perfect dodge it and pay for the overcharge feint, uh, if you press it yourself for the pierce, you're going to be doing damage 6 plus, let's say she's holding on to 4 Esper, damage 6 plus 8. That's going to be 15, 14
14.
damage. It's going to be 14
Yeah.
damage. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. She has 2 health left.
Mm-hmm.
Princess
Well, she had
Malia,
one armor, I think.
but you press it for Pierce 2.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
So
never mind.
she has 2 health left from one attack.
Yeah.
Like, what the
Kisa
heck?
is another prime target too. Kisa tends to sit on, held Esper because she's more economical with her Esper.
Exactly, and you're looking at that, and well, let's look at Kisa. Let's see let's see how she can handle this. Oh God.
Mm-hmm.
Um. Here's the scary part is that her way of handling it is redirecting it.
Okay.
So you're going to be doing, say she's camping on 4 Esper as well, 14 damage to whatever she redirects to.
Mm-hmm.
So in essence, you're going to be hurting and or killing something.
Something. Yeah.
Something. Or possibly pulling a wrench into your... The only way to counter that, if the Kisa player is playing pretty crafty, is to sit next to an objective and be like, aha, I redirect it to my primary objective.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as you're not playing tear it down, that's actually something you don't want to happen.
Right.
So yeah, but still, that's crazy because he's almost one-shotting her as well with 14 damage. Yeah, she's left on 4.
Yeah, Magnus is no joke, man. Magnus is pretty strong. But for me, I got to talk about my current favorite Relic questing knight at the moment, who is Jean Romay. I still say Jean. I don't think that's right, but I don't care. I'm going to call her that because I can't say Jean for some reason. I've been playing her for the past, I would say, 4 or 5 games now, and just really kind of, I was excited about her playstyle before she came out because it was like, okay, and I was thinking, here's a model who is just the ultimate support knight. You know, she can buff a bunch of people around her. She's got that wicked compel. She's got good armor. She's got fly. She's not going to drop tokens, so she's a fantastic objective runner. So I had all this stuff in front of me, kind of going in, and I'm like, okay, that's how I'm going to play her. It wasn't until people tried shooting me that I realized how freaking good she really is, because she has all that stuff as a support / objective runner type of knight, but her defensive tech is really off the charts. You know, she's got Lawmaster, and I believe she's a Lawmaster Creation. Essence Initiate, and then I think she has Creation Initiate or Creation Master. So what does that mean? Well, Lawmaster gives her it's an expensive 6 blue overcharge redirect.
Oh, I think she only has Creation Initiate and Law Initiate.
Oh, I thought she had... No, she's Jean Romay. She definitely has Lawmaster.
Oh, what? Because I'm looking at the rulebook right now, and it says she's Initiate in both Creation and Law.
Interesting. Maybe they changed it on the card. I don't know.
Oh boy, yeah, because that's a huge buff. That's huge. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
In fact, you know what? Hold on. Let me check I'm gonna pull my card because I want to make sure that we're saying this right. Or maybe I was just playing her busted. Let's find out. All right. So. Night cards. All right. There we go. The night cards. Okay, so Jean Romay. Law Initiate. Okay, well that's bad. I was playing that wrong. But I don't really use that one anyway. The one that I typically use here is Armor of Faith.
Oh yeah.
So you can see it's a pretty cheap armor buff, two blue and a green. The nice thing though is this Backlash 4.
Oh, that gets me every time.
And you can gain that Recover 4 as well. But you know, when you don't have the blue to pay for this, if you've got a lot of green running around, which I typically do, you can use your Recover for being a Creation Initiate as well. So yeah, sorry that one game that I actually played that Lawmaster redirect. But no, I've been using mostly the Backlash. But anyway, her defensive tech is strong nonetheless, and when you combine that with fly, her not dropping any tokens, she has a this. This is also quite good for 4 green. This is Martyr, which allows you can press it for overcharge, but this does is you can redirect to the nearest friendly unit or redirect to the nearest enemy unit. And what's interesting about redirecting to the nearest friendly unit is if you have her cadre ability for Steadfast gives friendly markers in contact with her or any unit in her cadre armor 2. So if you are, say, near your primary objective, like what we were talking about a moment ago, and you redirect to your primary objective, armor 2, naturally, plus another armor 2 if she's in base contact with it, you're redirecting to an armor 4 objective, which is quite nice. So that's one of the, that's some of the stuff that you can do with Jean. The compel is what a lot of people see, hearts and minds, and it's a really nice compel. Doesn't have an overcharge, but that's okay, because if you know where to apply it, you should be in good shape. You can use this compel to do stuff like you can compel your objectives around. I was using it in one game to just compel objectives away from my opponent that he was trying to get to. You can press it for 2 green to compel friendlies, and you can compel on a press. You can compel up to 8. So compel 8 is crazy amount of control, especially if you're doing it to a target that does not have a guard or a redirect available to them. So you can. I was blowing up units with her doing that, and like I said, being a general nuisance with markers and that kind of stuff. So right now,
go for it.
So right now she's kind of got my most of my attention for games, and I really like her playstyle thus far.
Yeah, to build on the compel, the thing about being able to target friendly units in LOS is she is such a good objective runner that she makes the rest of her army a great objective runner. She's alone is 10 movement and fly nonetheless, and 4 follow-up, right? But if she can't interact with an objective, what she can do is move her 10 towards said objective that she wants to interact with. Say, oh, what's next in my queue? Oh, look, my Swordsworn are next. Let me compel them 6 inches closer to their target objective so that they can interact with it. So not are you necessarily like hurting anyone or doing anything, but you're making your objective running 2 times as fast because you're essentially putting in another initial movement to any unit. So yeah, she is crazy.
She's pretty crazy, especially for a model that, and she makes it so that you don't really want to attack her because of the backlash and because of she just has easy ways of dealing with attacks, and a lot of times you're helping her by trying to attack her. So yeah, I really like the playstyle. I've always been a fan of basically your support, for lack of a better term here, your support casters. And she fits the bill, and I am considering taking her as one of my lists for this Sunday. So I do like her and Navari because Navari provides some much needed punch, some direct attack punch in the list, and he also comes with that great mobility. He's got, in my opinion, he has knight level abilities. If you look at his card, he's got a cheap ranged, and he's got a very strong overcharge melee attack. Very strong overcharge melee attack that should not be taken lightly. So I like her Navari. That would be 28. So basically, that would leave me with 22 points left. If I wanted to play like the full, what I call an MMO rating party, I could play Dark Space via Meta and Ostrakin, and that would give me basically I'd have my tank, my melee DPS, my my range DPS, and then I'd have the party healer buffer. That's the knight.
Yeah, the
So
MMO party.
so that's one of my themes. Is like, okay, I could build an MMO theme party, which would be hilarious and probably reasonably good. Ostrakin, I would take a little bit of would take a little bit better planning around my Esper deck to get use from him. But overall, oh, not only that, and then when you're playing strong yellow, remember to cycle Fiametta in to that. So it's a cool build that takes a little bit of forethought to play, but very powerful. So I'm thinking about that. The other option, I've been playing around with kind of variants to that list. Like I would take her at 14, then I would go. I would take Cordelia and Candy Heart. So that build would put me at 35, and I would have 15 points left over. So I could do like say a 4-man needed a Swordsworn and Isabeau. Well, anyway, there's a number of ways I can go with that particular build too. That's a little bit more of a standard build, but that sounds interesting as well.
Yeah, one build that I would run is Jean, Navir, and some Paragons, and Cordelia Clean. So that means that every model that you have is fly, extremely tanky, and really fast.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter what you put in the ready queue besides your Cypher is going to be moving 8 inches or
That's
more.
true.
And if you want to be an objective runner, I mean, that is fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Now, I've never fielded Paragons. I like the models, but I don't know. I haven't convinced myself that for 9 points that I should be taking them. And quite honestly, one of the main counter arguments is at 9 points, I always go with Isabeau.
Oh,
I
you're
just think
correct.
Isabeau is so strong, but in builds like this where you've got Cordelia Clean, and you've got Jean as your other two powerhouses in the list. How much healing do you really need? Because you're going to be focusing in on objectives more than combat.
Yeah, and Jean can also heal because she's a creation initiate, which means that she
Yes.
has a. Let me
She has a
flip to the
3 green
page.
heal.
Yeah, 3 green heal can be pressed for another 3 for heal 4. So I mean, that's pretty decent. You can keep those Paragons. The one thing that I don't like about Paragons is that they have. Let's see.
They have no guard or redirect, right?
Exactly. So the only thing that they have to rely on is Aegis and their 3 armor, and they only have 6 health.
But Aegis doesn't even really affect them. It affects units kind of along the path of an attack that they are in the middle of. At least that's how I recall it.
Oh, you're correct. Yeah, they're the ones who provide Aegis for other targets.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I mean that's the one thing I don't like about Paragons is that they're surprisingly squishy. Novitiate squad can blow up a single Paragon every turn.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, a Paragon and a half. So yeah, what I would have loved to take would have been the Castellian, which isn't out yet, but that's the big bad Gundam style knight that they have.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I like that. I do like the Castellan. I think it's awesome looking.
Yeah, for
I
two
want to.
2 points more.
And it's just aesthetically. I don't even care if it's that good. It does happen to be a good unit, but I mean, I was like, oh man, I want to field this whole Gundam-looking Shattered Sword build with either Cross or Jean at the head of that. Uh, so yeah, anyway, that's one of my ideas for one of the lists I might bring Sunday. The other idea I have is I still a big Princess Malia fan, love Cersei, and I want to have the option to field something from Cersei. So it would definitely involve Malia. She's 18. Cordelia Clean puts me at 31. Maybe even Candy Heart to put me at 39, and then that's 11 points left over, where I could take like Rin Farah, or even I'm really liking the Pacer a lot more lately.
Oh yeah, because the oil slick on primary is just crazy.
Yeah, so I really like the Pacer, so the Pacer would free up 5 points, so I would go like Pacer Pit Crew, or I would just take Rin Farah and call it a day, and hope that all my objective running could be handled by Malia and Cordelia, who in that list really would be doing the heavy lifting for just about every situation. And I don't know how I like that. Malia is just really, really strong on her own. She's, in my opinion, one of the better Relic Knights out there. But I just don't know how I personally like the idea of just, basically leaning hard on her to do everything.
Well, she is. I mean, Malia is just, in my opinion, one of the really good knights in the game. Because she has. It seems like she's the ultimate toolbox. She's got charge, and feint for really cheap in the same melee attack. Her lap time allows her to move really fast. I think she's undeniably one of the fastest models, if not the fastest model in the game. She has a really dirt cheap ranged attack, which is also a push. She has a relatively expensive high damage overcharge feint. She has actually a relatively cheap overcharge mid-range damage push 8. Can gain feint.
Yeah, that's the squad murderer.
Yeah, I mean, that right there is just ridiculous. And she has the ability to gain an overcharged feint on perfect dodge. So, and she's a creation master and an essence initiator with thrusters. So, and she gives everyone else a feint ability because of her cadre.
Yes.
So technically, anyone could be a mad dasher in this army. So even Rin Farah moving 6, feint 6, 5. She's moving a net of 17 inches. So I mean, Malia is just great. But like you said, you do need 2 objective runners because it is a 3-slot queue.
Yeah. So in that build, my other objective runner would probably be Cordelia, because I think Cordelia is a little bit better out in the open than Rin is. Or I go with the Pacer build and use the Pacer as basically mobile support for Malia and Cordelia.
Yeah, I strongly suggest a Pacer in any Cersei list. Actually, tomorrow, if they have a Pacer, I might pick one up at CQ because they're just too good and really cheap as a model. 12 bucks or $15 to pick one up. I mean, that's just undeniably cheap. So yeah, I mean, you're looking at 18 points for Malia, 13 points for Clean. Not to mention Clean gets a free Esper every turn. So
yeah,
that's
Clean
awesome.
I like her because she's just so self-sufficient. You know, she's self-contained. You don't have to worry about her generating her own Esper and taking care of. And she has line. She has two forms of line, which are fantastic. They're both fantastic.
Oh yeah,
Um,
and her redirect dust off is just fabulous.
yeah.
So I mean, you're looking at enemies not wanting to attack her because they're like, oh hey, I'm just gonna swing it right back at you.
Hmm.
So yeah, you're looking at 18 plus 13. Let me whip out a calculator real fast. So
31.
plus 13 plus the pacer, which
That's 6. So that would put you at 37. So you'd have 13 left.
yeah. So plus 6. We're at 37. Got 13 left. You know, the pacer is also just a great objective runner in himself because I mean, speed 10. You
Speed
can't
10.
you can't say that that's not a good objective runner. The one thing that he just doesn't have is a way of, well, I mean, he is a creation initiate, so he can technically gain recover.
Yep.
Um,
He can buy a recover, and he's got pretty good armor, as I recall. Armor and health is pretty decent on that for 6 points.
exactly. That's why I love the pacer so much.
It's a nice little economic. Now, one thing I noticed, it might be just what's going on here, but I notice a pattern in Relic Knights that a lot of people shy away from those single model minions, those single model non-unique minions. And I'll give you some examples, like the Blitz Tank, the Breaker 9 team. Riddle Wreckers don't get a lot of play, but stuff in that category. However, the ones that do get play, Pacers are one, Librarians for Doctrine are another one, because they have a job and they do it well, and they can, they tend to be fairly economical. And the Pacer is just, I love that minion.
Yeah, me too. I like the wrecker for the toe, but I think the only place where you can't, not the only place, but the best place to take a wrecker is with Marie Claude,
Oh, for sure.
because right there, that speed boost plus toe is ridiculous. So I mean, I can't. She's got some good like damage abilities, which could help you if you get unfortunate and get tear it down.
Mhm.
Um, but I really think to fill out that last 13 points, you gotta go Bells.
Bells, which would be 7, and then I could do a second Pacer.
Exactly.
or I could go, pit crew and maybe a boost or something.
Yeah, I think 2 Pacers though. I like it. I like it because now you're not allowing your opponent to sort of get like pick off targets, where like you said, it's only 6 points. So all they have to do is a primary and then shoot down your pit crew, and they're at
Mm-hmm.
6.
Now
So
this is one of. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
oh no, I'm good. I was done.
Okay. Well, one of the downsides for me, and I just know this about me, is I tend to run pretty short on my queue. I don't cycle in. Sometimes, especially at 50 points, I'll take something in my list like pit crew, and it just won't see the ready, because if I'm doing okay, I won't need the pit crew. If I'm getting slammed, bringing them in for a heal late when it's too late is a bad idea. So I know for myself that I tend to do a little bit better if I'm really only managing, say, 3, maybe 4 units to be considering at a time. So I don't know what that means actually, but that's just something I know about myself.
Well, I know the feel because I remember my second game I ever played of Relic Knights. I played what was it? Something ridiculous. 3 units of the Black Diamond Squad, or whatever they're called.
Diamond Core?
Yeah, Diamond Core. I played 3 units of them. And I was like, this is gonna be great. I'm gonna activate them. They're gonna do good stuff. And then I was like, wait, I have a whole army that isn't moving because Diamond Core is so cheap that you're just like, oh, I can take 1,000,000, and then
Yeah.
you notice that, oh, hey, Magnus isn't moving. Uh, like it's just one of those things where it's like a lot of your key models that you need to do stuff aren't doing anything because you're preoccupied with something else.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean that list seems pretty baller. I mean you've got Malia, which is just awesome. You've got the Bells, you've got the Pacer, you got another Pacer, and Cordelia.
Yeah. So I'll well I hope that we'll get some time to get into these tomorrow. I feel pretty comfortable with the Jean Ramey list, even though I will probably end up playing that. I still want to see what what the Cersei list is capable of.
Yeah, I mean both of them are really scary. Jean Romay, especially since my play style is shoot everything that moves. Uh, not being able to shoot everything that moves is kind of sad and scary at the same time.
Yeah, you can be pretty brazen with Jean. I noticed. I've been playing her pretty gutsy because it's like, okay, well, go ahead and try to hit me. It's kind of you're kind of doing me a favor most of the time.
Exactly, and it's like, well, I can boost myself to armor 5, recover 4. Oh, look, I healed the damage you did to me last turn. Thanks.
Hmm.
It's just kind of funny how you can do that. You're like, oh, you only did 7 damage to me? That means I healed 2 more.
And
Hey.
not just backlash, just
Oh
to
yeah.
just to add insult to injury.
Yeah. I mean, I really like for the fact that they are sort of like the haha, let's put something and crush it. Like, right, like just straightforward kind of blunt faction. But I mean, Jean, looking at what she can do, it's just awesome. Like, it's such a flip side of the coin. Um, Almost as different as red is from blue because I'm just flipping the pages of my rule book. Yeah. Man, I am tempted to pick her up, but I don't want to pick her up because I'm
Is it
looking
just?
at no.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at
Well,
no.
I mean, she's probably not going anywhere for a while, and so you can flesh out your no, play a few games with the no, and then come back at another point.
Yeah, okay, so I did check my funding, and I do have enough to pick up one item. One item that's worth like about 40-ish bucks for Relic
Okay.
Knights. So
Okay.
I'm thinking of coming into shop tomorrow and either picking up a combination of items or just like one big item. I don't think I'll get a knight because I have Malia, never touched her, besides built her. So if I'm gonna buy a knight, I have to at least play a couple games with Malia first.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I either want to hash out my no, or I want to. Well, there's nothing really for Corsairs that I want besides Kate. So it's either pick up no, start Shattered Sword with Jean, or pick up a Pacer, or start Black Diamond, which is kind of it's haunting me, but I don't want to.
Hmm. Well, let's consider who we're gaming with most of the time. So Jose's playing Black Diamond and Shattered for the most part,
Yes.
which means with Jose in that group, I tend to play more Cersei.
Hmm.
And then I'm also considering fleshing out my doctrine a little bit because I I missed out on the prefects and I really like those models. So
Oh yeah, they're
and
great.
so I will probably, but that said, I'm my main factions for sure are Shattered Sword and Cersei. So uh, just take that for what it is. So that means for you, you have open space right now with No and Corsairs, and then anytime you want to, you can branch over to say Black Diamond. You could pick up Jean and um, play some Shattered Sword, and I think we'll probably rotate. By the time you're over on that side, then I'll be back playing. I will have picked up Corsairs by that point, and I'll be playing um, Calico Kate. Because again, I really like that model as well. So I'm pretty certain um, I will be playing her at some point.
Yeah, that would be very interesting if we just did, the reversal of the century.
Oh no, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's just gonna happen naturally. I don't even think we really even have to plan for it. I think we're gonna explore the space of where we're at and go. Oh well, I'm moving over this way. You're gonna migrate one way. I'll migrate another way. Um, and so we'll probably all have every faction at some point.
Yeah, that's the thing about this game. It's so cheap that you're bound to get every faction just by accidentally buying a model here or two.
Mm-hmm.
That's
It's
the
just
funny
gonna
thing.
happen.
Yeah, if you walk into, like, say you walk into your local and you just want to support them every time you walk in. So let's say you walk into your local, pick up a model here, pick up a model there. The thing is, you only need 2 to 3 boxes for every faction. So if you walk into your local store like 6 times, you've already got like 3 factions.
Mm-hmm.
So I
That's
mean,
true.
that's the funny thing about this game is like that's how easy it is. I mean, you just get the No Empire box and you get Marimoto or Marimaroto. Yeah, that's how you pronounce it, right?
Momoruto?
Mamaroto.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I mean, with the sale, like I've got the website pulled up right now with the 25% off sale. Looking at $40 plus 17 bucks, 57 bucks, guys. Come on, that's a full army.
Yeah, that's true. Man, I can't believe that I missed that by just a couple hours.
Oh god, oh god, oh boy.
I was like, "Are you serious?" It was like 2 hours later. I was this close to just yelling at Ross. I was just gonna message him immediately. Go, why are you guys mean to me? Why did you do that? Actually, I'll do it. I'm supposed to talk to Ross tomorrow. I'll tell him tomorrow. How could you do that to me?
It's like, who do you think you are?
How did you do that? You ruined
It's
my
like
life.
literally, like I have this new catchphrase. It's like, I wonder what my no think of your future freedom because of that. It's like I don't know how free you're gonna be in a couple of rounds of Relic Knights. But yeah, I'm looking at Rin Farah. I wish I had her stat card because then I would know whether or not to pick her up. Because I'm thinking I might just support. Because every time I walk into CQ, I always pick up a model, but I might go rogue and support Soda Pop directly.
Yeah,
So,
I mean that sale is pretty legit, man. There's no denying that.
but yeah,
And
oh, go for it, go for it.
sometimes I mean, I know that you always try to support CQ and whatever LGS we happen to be at. So I mean, there's just going to be times where you're like, hey, this is a really great deal and I can't pass it up, and I think that's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Honestly, that's just a sale. CQ may have a sale at some point, but I mean, you can't really rely on that.
Yeah, I think I'll talk to
Um,
Kelly and ask her if she's planning a Christmas sale. Because if she is, oh boy, I'm gonna be stocking up some funds. Actually, I might not even get anything. If CQ is going to be doing a sale for Christmas, um, there will be an empty shelf for Relic Knights. Um, yeah, well, not a complete empty shelf, but one of everything that's red will be disappeared, like magic. Oh man. But yeah, do you have Rin Fair's card on you by any chance, or close
I
by?
can get it. I can get it. Just give me a minute here. I'll let me just do a little I got to do one little highlight here while I've got the paint out.
Because
I'll
if
break it out for you.
she's a baller, then I'm going to have to pick up her and then probably something else for now tonight.
Okay. All right, let me go get her card. I'll be right back.
All right, thank you.
Should probably load comments too. All right. My big old stack of Relic KNights cards. Whoa. Whoa, don't fight me. All right. Let me check our comments here.
The Dark Space models aren't available in stores, right? You have to get it online.
Yeah. Okay, so a couple more comments from Cameron. Wow, no one else is in chat while I step out a bit before I missed a good chunk. Seems like you're just shooting the shit anyways. Yeah, dude, we're just talking Relic KNights. Potential builds and what we want to do with our collections. Is the Shattered Sword guy with the giant lance any good? That's Navari. Yes. Let's. But first, before we get to Navari, let me dig out Renfera here for Andrew, who comes with Suicide Queen, which is so much fun.
Oh boy.
And another dude, my second favorite. Okay, so I'm gonna hold on to Navari for now because we're.
Oh, can you, if you have, I think we had this conversation before, if you have the DS model, you can use it as a proxy for the other model, correct?
Absolutely, yes.
So yeah, I mean, if I get Dark Space Rin, I'm also getting normal Rin. I actually like the pose of Dark Space Rin better than...
Me too. That's the main reason why I have her. I have her, because I do like the pose better than the standard Rin. All right,
yeah.
This is taking so long.
Oh no, it's fine.
I got lots and lots of Relic KNights, as you know, so I've got to dig through and find Renfera. There she is. Okay, Renfera. 11 points, 6'5" move, 4-3 on shooting. That's the stat that stands out. Let's see. 3 slots for Held, Esper, 3, 6, 9, 10. 10 life points, no armor. So let's see. I don't know if I'm getting this on camera or not.
She has stealth, so that's going to protect her from shooting and psychic, because you're going to want her in cover.
Yes. Yes. So let's see. Her ranged. She's got 2 ranged attacks. The cheap one is Unseen Shot, 2 blue and a green for damage 6, which can gain Pierce 2. That's the economical shot. That would be 4-2 at full press. So it's damage 6, Pierce 2. That's not too bad. And then the big cannon here, Headshot, 5 blue, 2 green, overcharge damage 6, which you can press for Pierce 2 at 3 blue, and then you can remove Recover at 2 green. That's a good anti-no attack.
Oh, great!
But it doesn't. You can't one-shot a Kyojin Berserker. You're gonna do 6 and no Recover, which is basically the same as doing 8 with Recover. She's got a guard, 3/2, 3 green, 2 blue. Take cover. And it will give her Feint 3 if you press for 1 of each. And then she has a 2 blue, 1 green kill zone. AoE debuff. Units entering the area suffer damage 3 as long as Rin has line of sight to the unit. Kind of cool. So you basically park her in an area, set up your AoE, and then drop back and snipe the hell out of stuff. She doesn't quite fit my playstyle very well. So I'll be honest with you, I really haven't gotten a lot of success running her. But, she looks good enough. I'm pretty sure anybody else could probably get some success out of her.
I think the place where you can get the most success out of her is in a prismatic list. Because then you're running Dark Space Fiametta, normal Fiametta, Rin, and Candy. That's so many guns. It's unbelievable. Like, you've got
That's
so
a good
much
point.
ranged attacks. Like, what the heck?
That's
Um,
something to think about.
yeah. Also, do you have the DS, the Dark Space Rin card on you by any chance?
I do. Let me find it. Dark Space Rin. Ugh. Too many Relic Knights cards. Okay, here we go. Dark Space Rin Farah, also 11 points. Stats the same as regular, all the way this whole side of the card. And let's see, on the other side, we've got 2 ranged attacks and a guard. So similar. From the hip is damage 4, feint 4. Let me pull up the original so we can just keep them side by side here.
It's almost identical.
So, yeah, well, her economic shot is damage 4, feint 4, which can press to damage 6, whereas regular Rin Farah just goes damage 6, piercing 2. I would prefer to go damage 4, feint 4 with damage 6 and drop the piercing. It just seems a little more economical and a little bit more, well, I should say it's a little more versatile than the piercing 2. Then you've got, instead of headshot, you've got Beast Slayer. 5 red, 2 purple. Overcharge, damage 6, same as the other one. Piercing 2 for 3 purple instead of 3 blue. And then the target may not recover. So the exact same ability, basically.
A rose by any other name is just as sweet.
Yeah, it's the exact same, just using 2 different colors. And then her guard, fan service, also costs the same, but instead of gaining feint 3, here's the beautiful thing: backlash 2 on 2 purple.
I just find it hilarious that they named it fan service. Like, oh my gosh.
She is sniping in a bikini top, so, there's that.
But, like, if
And
you look at the pose, it's so dynamic. Like, I love the pose.
the pose is nothing like the art. The art is cool, but the pose is really cool. And then she's, instead of being regular Rin Farah is a creation initiate, law initiate. Instead of that, you're entropy initiate, corruption initiate. And frankly, I don't play too many things in the corruption. What was that? The corruption entropy side. So I don't really know what that yields for Rin.
Oh, I just pulled it up. It's Recover 2 or Recover 4 as a support ability. She has Corrupting Influence, AoE debuff. Units in the air reduce all attack and defense skills by 1. And here's the interesting one, Void. For 5 purple AoE, the area is size 10 and blocks LOS.
Whoa.
Yeah, so that's kind of really good if you want your berserkers to live.
Whoa. So yeah, that's kind of nice. She's good cover fire for them in those type of builds. That's cool.
But yeah,
let me paint in a little.
Oh, go for it. Go for it.
I was just saying, I'm just painting in a little bit of green here, and then, for Cameron's benefit, we'll switch over to Navari.
You are correct. You are correct. But yeah, just one last thing. I think I'm gonna have to pick up Rin, DS Rin, because that way I get 2 models, and actually I might just have to pick up Dark Space Isabeau as well.
Dark Space Isabeau is hilarious.
Exactly.
And you should play her. She is hilarious. Yeah, she's. I didn't say good. She's hilarious.
Oh god. Oh, I know, but that's me Hardy's. I mean, come on.
Right.
Let's be real. But yeah.
Yeah, I can.
Oh, go for it.
Oh, that's it. That's all I was saying.
Oh. I mean, I'm deciding whether to go. Oh yeah, I have to do Soda Pop because I was looking at Miniature Market and I was like, oh wow, they actually sell some Dark Space stuff too. But the only thing that they were selling was Rin. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and everything else is pre-order. So I think I'm just gonna go Soda Pop. What's their shipping like? How long does it take?
Um, Now I typically use Ninja Ship, and it gets to you in about a week or less. But I will note that there was one point where I knew they were all at cons and stuff that the Ninja Ship took a little bit longer than that. But for the most part, Ninja Ship is a nice little economic. You'll get it in, I would say, 3 to 5 days most of the time.
You know, that interested me because I was actually offered Ninja Ship when I was going through the checkout.
Hmm.
So is that available to everyone? I think it might be because of the holiday sale.
I think it's just available to everybody, but I don't know. I mean, so um, all right. So let me drop. Sorry, Cameron. We're getting to it, man. Relax. We're getting to it. Let me do a little wash here
Yeah, I can
on the
actually
block.
I can pull up Naveer on
Yeah.
my screen share real fast. Let me get
Have a
that
look.
going. Let's see. Go to
All right.
media and then go to Shattered Sword. It's loading up. Just take a little bit. Okay. Scrolling down. There we go. There he is. Now I just need to zoom in. He's 14 points.
Mhm.
Speed 8. Follow up to 3-3 for melee, which is very good. 2-3 for shooting, and 1-3 for psychic, and 3 armor. So he's very defensive. 3 in
Mhm.
all defenses, including armor, and 3 held Esper slots. Um, his abilities is the Dragon Slayer, which we talked about before. It's his big melee attack, which is 5 blue, 2 green. Damage 8, push 8, overcharge. Can be press for knockback, and press for target not being able to redirect. So that right there is one of the scariest abilities in the game.
That's beefy as
Period.
hell. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one shot in my Moffat.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
save up for that one. You save up for that one because that's beefy and it's awesome.
yeah. If you can transfer some Esper to this bad boy, yes, he is a
Mhm.
monster. His cheap ability, which is sort of like I'm flying, can't really like interact with an objective. I kind of just want to shoot something. Is Lance Beam. Damage 4 can be increased to damage 6. Only a 2 tap for both, so really cheap. It can also help you get rid of some purple in your hand.
Also, I'd point out with Lance Beam, that's if you're taking advantage of Officer Paragon, you'll go up to damage 8 most of the time.
Yes, yes. If you use your paragons, he will be damage 8 for only 4 taps. That's a steal. That is a steal.
Hmm.
Um, Also, the squad of Paragons, if I recall, they have their Lance Beam attack, which can also be affected by Navarre.
Yep.
So they go up as well. So he not only is affected by Paragons, but he also
Uh-oh.
affects them as well.
Hmm.
What's up? You said uh-oh?
Yeah. Your sound dropped out for a second, but I think that was only on my side. I don't think that was a problem here.
Oh, okay. And then he has a really cheap block, 2/2 Righteous Shield. Can only be used against melee and range, but for a very cheap press of 2/1, you can gain overcharge. So normally those cost up to like anywhere from 8 Esper for just to gain the overcharge. So he's doing it for very cheap, and it's a press, so he's not forced to buy
Yeah.
it. Um,
Right.
his next ability, which I love a lot, it's very similar to Moffat's time jump, or time hop. 3 green, 1 blue, thruster blast. Move Navari 10 inches anywhere because he's got fly, but he can't make up a follow move, which is he only moves 2 inches anyway. So you're going 18 inches across the board, which is fantastic. He's also a corruption initiate, which allows him to cast that void we were just talking about. He's a law initiate, which I think gives him a cheap armor boost. Oh, no. It gives him cleanse. Remove 1 AoE token that's in line of sight from play. Very good ability. Interactable, AoE buff. Units in the area increase all attack and damage by 1. Damage skills, not just damage, like in general. So increase all attack and defense skills by 1. Remain where you are, AoE debuff. Units that begin their activation in the area cannot make an initial move. That is huge.
That's gross. That's pretty gross. Yeah.
That means that they can't interact with anything because normally you have to move up to an objective to interact with it. So if you place down the remain where you are on top of Malia, she can't do her objective running. So this man can not only lay down a AoE that is void, no LOS, for anything to hide in, he can also lay down remain where you are, you can't move, basically. This guy is a baller. He is a B baller. He must play some basketball.
You're paying Relic Questing Knight points for him.
Oh yeah, but
worth it.
He's got 15 health with 3 armor and a cheap block. This guy's not going to be dying, especially since you're probably going to have Isabeau or something healing him.
Oh yeah. I ran him with Gene the other day, and he really is a great lieutenant for Gene because he can supply the heavy hitting while she's doing the objectives, and he can back her up on that objective running because he's got a lot of everything. His big weakness is psychic attacks, but again, I don't. Everything else that you're getting from him is phenomenal. So.
Yeah, and the thing about I kind of noticed how he sort of had the best offense is a good defense because everything that is psychic oriented normally has to redirect as their block.
Yeah.
So if you look at Dragon Slayer, oh, that thing that was shooting mine bullets at me, haha, I finally got my revenge, sort of deal,
Yeah.
So
and they can't read it.
Exactly.
That's a really nice anti-Tugan ability right there.
Oh yeah, you can one-shot him because you're doing 8 damage. Tugan's only got I think. Yeah, the push is what's gonna kill Tugan. Because I remember you Suicide Queen killed me once. So
yeah, that's looted deck, which is very similar.
Yeah, let me just pull up Tugan real fast. Tugan. Yeah, he's only got 4, 7, 11 health. You're doing 8 plus the 3 damage for... Oh, he's got 1 armor. He's going to be alive by 2 health. It's kind of annoying, but I mean,
That's still pretty good, though.
Oh, yeah.
Tugan's what, a 10-point model?
Yeah, Tugan's a 10-point model. So you're killing... Yeah, almost 20% of their army in one shot. So, very, very useful. And, well, technically, he is a Paragon officer. So, if the Paragons are nearby...
exactly.
That means that you did just kill Tugan in one shot. So, yeah, look at that. That is fantastic. What the heck?
Yeah, Novari's pretty good. One thing I would say I'm disappointed in myself recently is I played Suicide Queen. I picked up Suicide Queen again, and I love Suicide Queen. And I just sucked with her.
What happened?
I forgot how to play her. I was like, this was actually last Tuesday, or maybe the Tuesday before, where I was like, okay, I'll play Suicide Queen. And so I broke her out, and I took like a unit of bells, and I think I took Candy Heart, unit of bells. I took a pacer. What else did I forget what else I took, but it was like I was, and I was trying to do my best rotating in orange to bring in the bells and to bring in Suicide Queen, and I thought I did a pretty good job there. But my issue was it was a little too much nickel and dime with her. I wasn't playing smart and saving up for my big, loaded deck shot. Kind of like you play, kind of like how you might play one shot. Where you just try to save up for that Daystar Blast, and you may only pull it off a couple of times during the game, but you're going to do it at the right moments and make your opponent pay for it. But I was just ineffective with her, and so I got to give her a little more practice time, I think, because she's still one of my favorites, and just super fun model to play.
Yeah, Suicide Queen's awesome. I mean, just the thought around the character, I think, is really cool. Yeah, the ability to just do 9 damage, push 4, netting a 11 damage, that's ridiculous. No,
It's like
not 11. It's 12 damage, actually.
Yeah, it's like you're playing me Hardies, but with Cersei.
Exactly. Not to mention, I really like Speed Trap.
Speed Trap is stupid good.
It is, honestly.
Yeah. I'm a fan of the Speed Trap. A lot of people say, take Lug so that you can really take advantage of Speed Trap, but you can do that with lots of stuff. You don't have to take Lug. Granted, Lug is fantastic at just being a roadblock and a general nuisance, but you don't have. I don't feel like he's an auto include just because you're trying to take advantage of Speed Trap.
Yeah, I mean, I love Lug. Like, I love Betty and Lug, period. But, I mean, you don't have to. I mean, you never really have to take them. Because, I mean, you could just run Shoot. I mean, I think this is where I can justify a Royal Wrecker as well, is probably in a Suicide Queen list, because you're just like, aha, my Royal Wrecker is going to come up to you, punch you in the face, tow you away, and now you can't make not an initial, can't make a follow-up move.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's fantastic. But yeah, how does I know that Isabeau has a crazy like 11 Dark Space Isabeau, that is like 11 flip ability or something like that.
Like flip 16.
Wait, what?
Yeah, she has. Let me see if I can find her card. Just give me a minute. I'm just doing a little bit of detail on the marble here. I'll be there in just a minute. But yeah, she has her ranged attack. Her basic gun attack is naturally a flip 8, and then you can press it to do another flip 8. Hold on.
Oh,
you go
God.
get her.
Got it. I have to see what this model can do now.
It's super hysterical.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I think I might just have to pick that up. I might have to pick both.
And the model's super fun too. I love the model for Dark Space Isabeau.
Who's she cosplaying as again?
She's cosplaying as Lynn from Cowboy Bebop.
Okay.
And that one I know, because I think Cameron was the one that told me that. And then, oh no, my brother told me that and sent me a picture, and I was like, oh yeah, I watched Cowboy Bebop. So let's see. Where is Dark Space Isabeau? Here we go. Dark Space Isabeau. 9 points, just like the regular. Stats are different, because I believe regular Isabeau. Let's see if I can find regular Isabeau here.
It looks like her shooting has gone up.
Oh, for sure. For sure, for sure. She's very different than regular Isabeau.
Yeah, I think I have DS DS Candy, and DS Fiametta. I kind of want all the cosplay models, including Chef.
Oh, I've got Chef too. I have yet to play him, but I have him.
I mean, Solid Snake is one of my favorite video game characters, so I mean, like,
Mhm.
I kind of have to
Here we
pick him
go.
up.
Okay, so Dark Space Isabeau versus regular Isabeau. Both 9 points. Some differences in the stats. Regular Isabeau's gaining 1 on melee attack, whereas Dark Space Isabeau is gaining 2 and 1 on her ranged attack. So definitely more geared towards shooting, weaker against psychic as a result. And then the health and held are the same. However, regular Isabeau, 2 armor, no armor on cosplay Isabeau. Abilities are completely different in the back. So here's what I was talking about. Her only attack actually is a ranged attack. Poker hand, 2 orange, 1 yellow. This is damage 4, flip 8. And this is that same mechanic where you increase 1 by each point of chaos, reduce 1 for each point of law flip. So 8 flips on 2-1 to pay. And then 2 more orange pays to increase another flip 8.
Oh, God.
So, and you know what? I should probably look up and see if this was errated, because it says increase 2 flip 8, which doesn't make sense. But we've been playing it as flip 16 because, like, you're already at flip 8. Why would you increase?
Yeah,
But anyway,
no, it has to be increased by. There's no way that they'd have
yeah.
a no press.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that's a stupid. Like we've been playing it flip 16, and it's hilarious. And then she does now. The cool thing is you really don't use her for that. That's more just a gimmick to have fun. She has a 3 orange, 2 yellow guard that can gain overcharge for a total of 4 orange, 4 yellow.
Oh, God,
so
that's
overcharge guard, fantastic. And then she has an AoE, or a support move, Red Tail. Move Isabeau 10 inches, ignoring intervening objects. Isabeau may not make a follow-up move. So again, there's another speed boost, basically. And she is, now the part that you're paying for is Chaos Master and Looter.
Wait,
So Looter,
Chaos Master?
yes. So
Ooh.
Dark Space Isabeau is a Chaos Master, whereas regular Isabeau is a Creation Master. So Chaos Master is kind of cool. You get a lot of the...
Yeah, dude, you have a 5 orange redirect overcharge to the nearest friendly or enemy.
Mm-hmm.
That is...
So,
whew.
and as an objective runner, Dark Space Isabeau is really good because of Looter and her, her, like we were saying, her walking speed boost, quite nice too. So
Yeah, and then you've got the mutagenism flip. You've got the erratic defense flip. I mean, oh my gosh, what the heck? Oh my god. Okay, I'm sold.
she's fun. She's fun. She's a very fun. I run her with Harbineth, and she's like one of my main objective runners for Harby.
I was sold 10 seconds ago. It's like I was already. It's like it's already in the cart. That's how sold I am.
Yeah, one of the funny things you can do with her is, let's say your opponent has siege as their secondary objective.
Mm-hmm.
So what you do then is you walk up to one of their objectives, secure the objective, thereby removing their secure token, and then you just use her ability to fire at that objective and flip 16 and flip through your deck, and you're like, oh, well, you just lost your siege secondary objective.
Oh my gosh, flip 16.
So you just troll somebody with that. You're like, "Meh, okay. I'm gonna shoot. I'll secure the token. I'll secure the objective with one of my other units, and then Isabeau will just fire at that objective and flip 16 cards, and you're done."
What the heck? What? What is this nonsense?
So that character is hilarious. Um, let's see. I'm gonna reload comments here one more time. Oh wow, lots of comments coming in. Okay. Uh, Daisy X Miniature Market just got special editions in stock. Interesting. Okay, good to know. Troy Perez says, I still need to get in some more games of Relic Knights. There are a few people around my area that play, but it's slowly getting things started. Plus, I have way too many other games that I'm juggling. Yeah, I hear that. Relic Knights, though, is, man, it is one of those games where you kind of have to set aside your brain specifically to play it.
Yeah.
Because it really does exist outside of the realm of, say, most of your skirmish games. But if you can get a few people playing it, like we have, and get some fun people to play it, hopefully, then the game is just phenomenally better. You just have so much fun playing it. And win or lose, I found I pretty much like every single game of Relic Knights that I play because you're always learning something different, and then people's play styles just vary so wildly, and the game can accommodate that. That's one of the things that I love about the game.
I mean, the crazy thing was, back in the days when we were first playing, I was like, well, my play style is I want to shoot, like, well, not necessarily shoot, I just want to kill stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And for the longest time, I was like, well, I don't think that's viable. But then I brought that candy list to the tournament, and stuff just started hitting the wall. And yeah, I was actually surprised that I took first in that.
You played really well that day too. I mean, you did not have an easy road there to taking first. So you played some strong players, and I think you played really well.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting battle because I had to play a Candy mirror matchup where he was running Candy and both Fiametas, and that was, oh my gosh.
Who was that,
was
Mark?
a battle. Yeah, that was Mark, and he was running Dark Space Candy as well. He was running the Candy and the Fiametta list.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man, that was that. I think that and my second battle was really, really tough. And the only reason why my first one was a little bit, I don't want to say simpler, but it was just I felt a little bit more calm playing it because he was playing Delphine, which I played Delphine. So I was like, I know that army. I play that army. So, and I mean, like, it was a great battle as well because he last minute almost stopped me from getting 4 points because he was running his librarian up to my Fiametta and my burn would have killed him. So that would have stopped me from getting the points, and that was super scary. It was all great opponents, all great battles. That was crazy. I loved that tournament. That was great.
Yeah, we've been really lucky lately. Well, I don't want to say that we've been lucky. It's just been I just say that our group that we have is just super fun. So we've had the tournaments that we've been playing at Monster have been really, really fun, and everybody involved is just really having a good time, win or lose. And also, I'd point out like guys like Mark and Corey that might not be regarded as the most competitive players are really embracing this system, and they are getting really good. I highly recommend when you get a chance, play those guys again. Play Corey again because he's been winning with Corsairs, and like I said, he beat me. The last time we played, he beat me by capitalizing on a critical mistake that I made. and he just played sharp all the way through. And Mark has been doing really well too. So that whole group that you played with in October has continued to play. So you gotta be careful, man. They're all pretty good now.
I mean, I'm gonna love that because I want to sort of like play all my armies, and I'm super happy to see Corsairs succeeding because back in the days we thought, oh, this is just the ha 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 funny flip army, right? But no, they just took 2 firsts in tournaments. That means that any army can be scary. It just depends on how you play it. But
I
yeah,
know most of the time we
go
started. Most of the time, like early in the day, we're like, oh man, this is gonna be Black Diamond. Black Diamond is so good. And for good reason. Jose is a strong Black Diamond player. You've got John Bartley, really strong Black Diamond player. And Black Diamond, from a combat standpoint, probably makes the most sense to, say, your average wargamer of all the factions.
Oh yeah.
They have the right. They have that toolkit that resonates with most wargamers out there. So a lot of wargamers are gonna gravitate towards Black Diamond. And I mean, let's face it, they've got that Sophia Black Dragon combination, which is super strong. We're talking about a link between 2 units, each capable of pumping out 10 damage. So, in other words, you have Sophia go. She pumps out 10 damage because she's got Black Dragons with her. Then right after Black Dragons go, because of Link, they've got 10 damage because Sophia's with them. So you've got that power. You've got One Shot in Daystar Blast, and then you have Suspect 7, which is just ridiculous at running objectives. So yeah, I mean, on paper, you're going to say, wow, Black Diamond, that's where it's at. They're really strong. But then when you see people starting to play it, and especially when you see a guy that changes gears in the middle of a game, which is what I saw Corey do, and he did that against me, which was crazy. He was running objectives early game, and I was able to thwart him. Then he went to killing. And so he made me pull back a little bit, and then he switched right back to running objectives and won the game. That was pretty cool.
Now that is amazing. I want to play Corey a lot now, and I also want to play him with. I want to kind of mess around and just play like super fun lists, and just I want to see how he plays while also like in this like really fun atmosphere type of thing, like aha.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, because he and I were playing. I mean, we played one casual where I played Candy. No, I played my Malia Candy list against him.
Oh boy.
And I just ran circles around him that first game. So that was just the super speed list, which ran circles around him. Then I played Gene against him, and I was thinking, oh, I'm just gonna out objective him, and he threw me for a loop there, and that was really awesome. So yeah, I mean the group has been, Sarah's been getting more games as well, and she's gotten a lot better. So it's been really good, man. It's just fun to have a group of people that all play really well. They enjoy the painting aspect as well, which is cool, and they're all getting better at the game. I love it.
Yeah, honestly, that's great. I feel like I've been out of the loop for so long, man.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of very, very smart players. Actually, all of them are smart, man.
Yeah.
Oh, go for it.
No, I was just agreeing with you.
Oh yeah, I mean, everyone in the group is learning from their mistakes, capitalizing on other mistakes that are being made, and I think that's really good. It's sort of, if everyone is learning, then everyone seems to be on the same page, sort of thing. It's not like, oh, there's that one guy. Like I remember I used to I used to go to Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments, and there would always be the quote unquote that guy who, no
Uh-huh.
matter what, always takes first. It seems like with
Yeah.
Relic Knights, that is not the case. It's either a close battle or it's very fluid type of deal. It's not the, oh yeah, you had 8,000 life points. No, you have 0. I'm still at 8,000. Actually, in fact, I'm at 10,000 because that's how good of a deck I'm running. No, there is no quote unquote like utter stompage going on.
Not yet. And I'm also fairly confident that, if our group continues to remain active and get better, I don't think that's going to be the case. I don't think we'll have like one dominant player. And even if we did, I think that with our group being so friendly and tight, I think that eventually he would probably, we'd learn how to overcome it and keep things pretty balanced. I just don't see it with Relic Knights. I don't see, at least not yet. I don't see anything so busted that you could just continue to keep playing it and nobody can stop you.
Oh,
Uh,
exactly. And I mean, like, even in my opinion, one of the craziest things you can run is the 3 Beastmasters, 2 Hounds list. It's
mhm.
still, you just need to blow up the Hounds, and that's not hard. You just send a novitiate squad, and it's done.
I'd also be curious to see. I think this is right around the corner. I think John Bartley is talking about running 9 suspect 7s.
Oh my god.
So we're gonna see how that does. That might be interesting. It sounds really good in theory, but I don't know. I mean, is it gonna win? I'm not sure.
Yeah, another.
One comment
Oh,
in here from Croy Perez. During one of my first games, I ran the mechanics with Cersei, and I had to keep reminding myself that nothing has a range. I kept thinking I couldn't repair unless I was near something. It was weird playing something with no set ranges for it. Yeah, especially with the pit crew because they've got these giant wrenches, and you know that they can heal stuff. Um, and you're just like, well, wait a minute. I can just because I can see the model on the other side of the table, I can use my heal on them. That's amazing.
yeah, coming from War Machine, where repairs need to be base to base, it was very like every time I looked at them, I was like, why do people take this? That means that you have to be base to base to repair. And then I was like, wait, everything's infinite ranged in this game. So yeah, I mean that was very interesting of a jump. But speaking of like Relic Knights and just the general feel of it, I think it's a game that can't really be. It can be taken seriously, but not to the point where there's people yelling at each other. Because think
It
of it
should.
this, it shouldn't. But like, just let me put an argument into effect here. Like,
Okay.
how funny would it be to hear this across the table? Like, let me find one shot because I feel like she's brought up a lot in all tournaments. Yeah, man, that Daystorm Blast, there's no way that you could have drawn a line from your giant cannon and pierced all my guys. Well, and then the other guy's like, well, did you see the size of that cannon? Of course it can. Like, I can't see a not funny argument over this game. Like, just the names. Like, okay, like justify to me how fan service makes you block attacks. Come on. Like, there is no not funny argument. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
just everything about this game screams humor in some way, shape, or form. I mean, I think the most serious faction would probably be No, surprisingly, because
Maybe.
everything they have is like drag down, demonic howl, trample, rampage, Hydra's blood, bleed, flush, pounce. By the way, I'm reading this directly from the rulebook. Shoulder smash, Hydra's breath. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's nothing. Well, let's see. I'm trying to find something funny here. Oh, God. This isn't looking too promising.
That's all right.
Well, I mean, Aziz got hurl, so he's literally hurling a cipher. But yeah, I think the most serious army would have to be no, because they take away freedom.
Fair
So
enough.
yeah. So yeah.
But yeah, it's just cool to see the little our group picking up and growing a bit, and just how these are the fun days of your community, when you've got excitement and buzz around all the new events, and people are looking forward to the next one. Um, so it's just super cool. It's getting pretty late, and I'm gonna have to get up for work early here, but I'm gonna show off the models that I've been painting here. So this is Otho Mentulus
Oh
from
boy.
Arena Rex. Kind
Man,
of a
those
big.
models are so cool.
Yeah, here's him. He's one of the larger class, the 40 mil models with, and so here's Mycon. They're both the super big guys. And then I also painted Hermes. These two models look kind of similar. But you can see the marble effect right now is flat looking. And so what I do is I dull coat that whole model, and then I come back and then I'll come back and then gloss. I'll do a gloss lacquer on the marble, so it's nice
Oh,
and
that's nice.
so it really pops. Like you can see this. Well, it's actually probably better on Micon. You can see it better. But so yeah, here's the marble effect before you put gloss on it, and it looks okay. But then when you gloss it, ooh,
Oh, that looks good.
then it really pops. And so and what that's based off of is these are the faction dice for the game. And so you have the four factions here. They have different colors of dice. And so what I did was, so to make it easier for you to tell when you're playing which dice you're using, is the models, the bases are in the marble scheme that match the dice.
That's awesome.
It's kind of cool. So you always know, like here's a Brotherhood model. So they have those bone colored dice, so that's the kind of marble that she's on.
Those models are fantastic.
They're ridiculous. This guy here, this is Noxious, I think, and he doesn't belong to a faction. So you'll notice his base just doesn't match anybody's.
So, how much is like singular model for Arena Rex?
I don't even know, because I don't know what the real costs are going to be. These are resin models, so I don't think they're going to be cheap. But this is another game that's like 3 to 5 models per side.
I mean, they're so dynamic.
Okay. Yeah, like this is one of my favorite. Viatrix Focus. Just really cool. The muscle tone on the models are just hyper realistic, and I went for, I wanted to match the art, so I went kind of exaggerated on the musculature and the lighting effects.
And you're making me want to watch Gladiator.
Yeah, this is definitely a game that you play you play like a soundtrack to, and you just break it out and play with some folks. Super fun game. It's a pretty fun, simple game too. It's it's a good little like 30-minute multiplayer game that you can play in between. So okay, well let me reload comments one more time. And yeah, it sucks that I still have to work. I got a busy day ahead of me tomorrow because everything, they're going to try to get a week's worth of work done tomorrow. Does that work for you? Let's see. A couple more comments came in. No. Okay. Some comments from Cameron. In my humble opinion, I can't ever see myself taking RK seriously. it plays like an anime episode to me, and all this fast tournament play takes away from the game. Also, in my opinion, lol, shit stir. Yeah, no, that's what we were saying. I mean, the remark at last week's tournament was, "Hey, this doesn't really feel like a tournament. It just feels like we're playing a bunch of games with cool people." And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what I was going for, and that's part of the reason why we like the game so much. Is it should feel like that. I think if you're playing it right, it should feel pretty fun. You should be looking forward to your games, no matter where you're placed in the tournament that day.
Oh,
Uh,
exactly.
And then his other comment, wow, those models are ridiculous. I need to play Arena Rex now. I, I think that would be game number 4 Octave has got me interested in.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Um,
It is. They are fun. I can't wait to. I've got to paint. I have 3 models left, and they're awesome. I have the lion, so you can see they come in like these big. They come in resin packs like that. And then the one that is really cool. See if I have it here. Got all this crud on my table. Is I've got this giant scorpion.
oh god.
And yeah, and so okay, so this character here, I think her name is Zara. You can see she's kind of like a Egyptian beast mistress type model. So this is the foot version of her, and then this version of her rides the scorpion, which is
What the
amazing.
heck?
So yeah, so in the game, you can have her ride the scorpion, and then she can either if the scorpion dies, or she can dismount. Then you can have the foot slogging version of her. So yeah, the models are ridiculous. They're super fun to paint. Oh, I still have 2 more regular humanoids to paint. So I still have Lupa. You can see I've just blocked out some color on her.
Just a girl with a sledgehammer, no big deal.
Throw the sledgehammer, and then this is Vyarvit.
What the heck?
She's kind of like a wolf. She's a chick wearing a giant wolf pelt.
You know, I now have to buy that model, right? Like, it's gonna happen.
And if you guys are checking out SoCal Tabletop, Phil has all of his Arena Rex done because he was a little more diligent than me. I had to stop to paint a bunch of terrain, but that's just me making an excuse. No, Phil stayed at it longer, and he finished faster than I did. So, but yeah, super fun, man. This is like the game that you have really nice models. You get fun games in between, say, your main system, and it's just great for that. All right, so I think that's gonna do it for tonight. We ran give me a little extra half hour here because we're just talking. But yeah, any comments here before we sign off, Andrew?
Let me just think about that for a sec. You know, I do want to go on the Cameron comment about this game. It's not. I don't think it can be taken seriously. Like,
Okay.
it's one of those games where it is literally an anime episode every game, because it's about 30 minutes long for your average game, 30 minutes to an hour, like an average anime episode. It's a bunch of people running around dodging explosions, like an anime episode. Like, and I think once has this game hit Anime Expo yet? Like last year, did it hit Anime
Nope.
Expo?
Nope. This is the first year we're gonna be at Anime Expo with this game.
Yeah. When we go to Anime Expo, I'm almost positive there's gonna be a lot of people joining this game. First off, it's super cheap. Second off, it is an anime in all ways, shapes, and forms. And it's amazing to play. So I have a feeling as soon as Anime Expo rolls around, there's going to be a lot of people joining, especially in the SoCal area.
I hope so. Yeah, I think it's gonna be. I agree with you. I think Super Dungeon in this game coming into Anime Expo, we always do well with Super Dungeon at Anime Expo, but now we have Relic Knights to bring to the table too, which is a little bit, in my opinion, a little bit more comprehensive of anime. Whereas Super Dungeon's kind of trapped in the one sort of style, chibi. So I think you're right. I think we have the potential to really bring in some more players for cons like Anime Expo.
Oh yeah, and if I randomly join the demo team, I'm definitely gonna cosplay because this game just begs to have cosplay.
Nice.
So yeah, I have no clue who I would cosplay as. Um, Probably a me Hardy, because how funny would it be if randomly you're in the crowd and there's just this giant armored pirate running towards you and says, "Hey, join the Corsairs or be something something," and they're like, "What the heck is that guy talking about?" And basically, it's like, "Are you willing to fight for your freedom, me Hardy?" or something like that. Like that, I think would just take a lot of people aback and be like, "What the heck? There's a game that plays exactly like an anime. I like anime." It's like,
Nice.
but yeah,
All right, guys. Well, I think that's going to do it for tonight. I'm going to hit the hay. Thanks for hopping on, Andrew.
no
And
problem.
yeah, we'll get together tomorrow night for some games. We're really looking forward to it.
Yeah, dude, me too.
All right. Have a good one, everybody.